What's up, parents, coaches, athletes? Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
One of the things that we believe at PFP that you might already know is that mental preparation precedes peak physical performance.
Yes.
So every week we touch on a motivational message that works from the inside out to help an athlete develop their mind, emotions, spirit, and then of course their body as well. This week we're talking about a topic that is really misunderstood by so many people, and it doesn't really get athletes far in today's day and age, but it's something that's so critical for them after they get out of sports, and we just don't see it happening very often, and that is humility. Humility is very misunderstood because so many people believe that humility is, not being cocky, and then they just stop there. It's like, as long as I'm not cocky and I don't brag about myself, I'm humble. And humility is so much deeper than that, and it can help you become such a powerful and looked up to athlete or person in general that once you learn what we're about to share with you, you are going to be a more admired leader as an athlete, as a person. So, false humility, we're going to touch on that first. False humility is when, let's say Travis tells me, Andrew, you're just a really good looking guy. And then I say to Travis, nah, man, I'm not good looking. I'm really not. I'm ugly.
No, look at that jawline.
Some people think that's humility. Some people think that by me diminishing his compliment, that's being humble, but really that's false humility, because what am I looking for there? I'm either looking for him to say something like,
man, no, look at that jawline.
Like, no, man, you're really good looking.
Yeah.
Either that, or I'm so insecure and lacking confidence and belief in myself that's why I respond like that. And so false humility is simply when you get a compliment from somebody, or when somebody says something nice about you, and you just kind of brush it off to the side. And we've been asking our athletes all week long, do you really like it when people do that? Like when you tell somebody they're good at something or they did something well, and then they look at you and they say, no, I'm not good at that. Like, no, just say thank you.
Yeah. So what humility really means, it is recognizing and owning your strengths. So if someone does give you that compliment, know how to graciously take it without being arrogant about it, okay? Respectively accepting the compliment, but also owning your weaknesses and knowing you do have areas of your game, your personality, your habits that you need to work on too, because we need to own the strengths, get better at the weaknesses to become the best version of ourselves.
So we're sharing 5 very practical but uncommon ways that you and your athlete can be more humble. So the first one, every single day, say something or do something that demonstrates you know you were wrong. It sounds so simple, but every day, humility is like a muscle. If you want to get your biceps bigger, you go do bicep curls. If you want to strengthen your humility muscle, you've got to do things that will lead to being more humble. So, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. Thanks for letting me know. Or, I messed up, my bad. These are all ways that you can practice being more humble today. Number 2.
Number 1, ask for correction and receive it graciously. So if you're at practice and you really want to fine-tune a skill, don't be afraid to go to that coach and ask for guidance, showing you might not know how to do it. And then if you do receive criticism during practice, know the coach has your best intentions when he gives it to you, even if he delivers it in maybe an abrupt manner, okay? Graciously take that feedback and then work on the areas you want to improve at.
Yeah, this one kind of drives me nuts because last year I shared this with an athlete on how to be more humble, and I said, you got to ask for correction and feedback, and I stopped there. And so to show that they were coachable and humble, they said, all right, coach, what do you think I need to work on? What are my weaknesses? What do I need to get better at? And I said, you really want me to tell you? I said, you show up late a lot of the times, and even though you say you give your best effort in everything you do, I notice that when you're not good at something or when you don't enjoy something, you give less than your best effort or you give up early. And guess what? They looked at me and they were like, and they got mad. Receive the feedback graciously. That's the second part of being humble. So ask for correction and feedback, receive it graciously. Number 3 is speak well of others consistently, especially your rivals or your enemies. This one is perhaps the most uncommon thing that you can possibly do, to ask to speak well of people who are your rivals, like the guy on the other team who is maybe better than you. for you to say, you know what, he's really good. You know, he's worked really hard to get to where he is. That is one sure way that you can become a more humble person and a person that other people look up to and admire.
And then number 4, purposely associate with people in a lower place than you. I promise you, you older athletes that are going through the process now, if you can take an underclassman under your wing and help develop him and not make the same mistakes that you made, you're going to come off as more humble. You are being more humble, and then you're going to create such an impact in that young man's life or young woman's life. So associate with people in a lower place than you, whether it's athletically, whether it's age-wise, whether it's financially. Take those people under your wing and don't think you're above them.
Definitely. And then the last one, help and serve those less fortunate than you are, and also accept a lowly place. And accept a lowly place is, again, extremely uncommon, but let's pretend like you were an 8th grader and you were at the top of the class, and then you became a freshman. And now you're the freshman and you make varsity. Guess what? You're kind of at the bottom of the totem pole. You might now be, instead of the starter, instead of the number 1 scorer, you might now be the water boy and the bench warmer and the person that gets the first team ready for games. And most people in that situation will get frustrated, they'll get angry, they'll get bitter, and they won't give their best effort, and that is called pride. It's the opposite of humility. And I think that the best thing that you can do is, in that situation, you accept it and you say, you know what, I'm starting at the bottom, but I'm going to give it my all here. And I'm not going to complain about being the water boy. In fact, I'm going to take that water and I'm going to make it Gatorade. I'm just going to make it better. I'm in a lowly place, but I'm going to make it better. And that's the 5th way to be humble, guys. So go back, rewatch this video. It's a long one, but we feel that if you guys take this seriously, actually, we know that if you take it seriously, it is the only way that you can be a leader who other people look up to, who is confident and successful and becomes the best athlete you can be.
This will be an absolute game changer for you guys. Thank you all for watching.
All right, peace.